I know I just made a breakfast pizza, but I wanted to make another one because I had another idea. So let me show you how to make this. One of the ingredients you're going to need is pancetta, which I have used before on this channel, but I wanted to use it again because I really like the flavor. If you can't find pancetta, you can use bacon. It'll make the flavor a lot smokier. However, if you have a farmer's market by you can find pancetta pretty easily. Alright, so I just got out of there, and I got my pancetta, and I also got vanilla hazelnut coffee. I actually got to grind my own coffee, or ground my own coffee. But yeah, that's pretty cool. Oh, and I also got sushi, so that's going to be my lunch. But I'm looking forward to trying out this coffee because I'm going to have it with the pizza. Pizza and coffee, great combo. Alright, we're back in the kitchen, so let's make the pancetta. In a small saucepan, I got a little bit of olive oil because I don't want it to stick, and I'm just going to pour all of my pancetta in there. Just like the last breakfast pizza, I am actually going to be putting this into the dough, which you're probably thinking that's kind of crazy, but it's really not. I've actually seen people put meat in pizza dough before, or just bread dough in general. And lately I've just been a fan of jazzing up my pizza dough. I have to one-up myself every once in a while, and this really does add some great flavor. And make sure you cook the pancetta all the way through. This is going to go back into the oven anyway, but since it's already in the dough, you don't have to worry about it overcooking. And next we're going to be making our actual dough. I'm going to be using bread flour this time instead of all-purpose flour because it contains more gluten and you'll get a better rise. And I'm just going to take my flour, some salt, active dry yeast, and then I'm going to put in all of my pancetta. If you have any leftover grease, be sure to leave it in the pan. And next I'm pouring in room temperature water. And that's it for our dough. Now we're ready to put this on the stand mixer. You can do this by hand if you'd like, but I'd rather use the stand mixer because it needs a lot better and it's less of a mess. I let this go on medium speed for about 5 minutes, and the dough came together. It's looking very smooth, and it looks like our pancetta is incorporated very, very nicely. And this is going to go into a oiled bowl, lightly oiled by the way. You don't want it drowning in the olive oil. Just make sure the whole thing is coated, and then I'm going to cover it, and I'm going to let it sit on the counter for about an hour. But that's only if you want to make this pizza right away. Preferably let it sit for 24 hours. Make it the day before, and you'll have an even better tasting pizza. Alright, I said earlier to save some of that grease that's in the pan because we're going to use it to cook some mushrooms. I was trying to think of some other vegetable to cook for this pizza, and I couldn't think of anything better than mushrooms. I just love them way too much, but you can use any type of vegetable that you like. But mushrooms are so substantial and add a great umami flavor, and I'm just going to add a little bit of salt and pepper to this, and I'm going to let this cook for about 10 minutes. After 10 minutes over medium-low heat, you will see that they are cooked all the way through, but there is a lot of excess water. We are not going to use that because we do not want a soggy pizza. And I'm just going to take that excess water and grease and I'm just going to pour that into a separate bowl, and I'll just pour that out later. Next, we're going to shred some mozzarella cheese. I bought the big block here. This is 1 pound, and I'm just going to slice it in half. I'm going to shred half of it, but the other half I'm going to cut up into little cubes. You could use them for mac and cheese, shish kebab, you could use them for a party tray for when guests come over, you could fry them. But me, on the other hand, I like to sneak pieces of cheese while I'm shredding them for pizza and just snack on them all day. It's basically my bag of chips. Also, if you have never put cheese cubes in a salad before, do that. It's actually really delicious. Alright, so I'm going to take the other half of my cheese and shred that up, and this is looking great. And I'm going to put this in a little bag and put it to the side until I'm ready to use it for my pizza. You want to use it while it's still cold. On a 14-inch pizza pan that I greased with olive oil, and that'll help this brown, I'm going to take my dough and I'm actually going to shape it in the pan rather than rolling it out on the counter. This means less flour and you don't have to worry about dirtying your counter. This dough actually came out perfect and it stretched very easily, so I was able to shape it to the same shape as the pan. You can see the pieces of pancetta throughout the dough, and I'm going to let this rise in the pan a little bit longer while we make our sauce. We're going to be making a hollandaise sauce, and you want to make this fresh. You don't want it sitting in the fridge. You want to use it as soon as you make it. And we're going to make it a little bit differently than we did last time. We're going to be adding garlic, and I'm going to take some egg yolks, and if you get a little bit of egg whites in there, that's okay. As you can see, I got some in there, and I'm just going to grate my garlic into the sauce. And next, I'm going to be adding some water, and I'm going to add a little bit of lemon juice just for a nice tang. It adds some great flavor. And then I'm going to take some cubed butter. You want it to be cold right out of the fridge. And then we're going to put this over medium heat, and then we're going to constantly whisk it until we get a nice thick sauce. And you want to make sure you constantly whisk it because you're going to end up with scrambled eggs if you leave this for just a minute or even a second. So please keep an eye on it until you get a beautiful consistency. This is only going to take a couple of minutes. It's a very quick and easy sauce, and the addition of the garlic is going to add such great flavor. I know it sounds very, very odd adding garlic into eggs, but trust me when I say it works. After you take your sauce off the heat, we're going to be adding our seasonings. Make sure you taste as you go. I'm going to be using some salt, black pepper, some paprika, and that's it. Like I said, quick, easy sauce, but please give this a taste because if you need to add more seasonings, more lemon juice, more anything, please add it here right now because there's no going back. But this is tasting absolutely terrific, so now it's time to assemble our pizza. For the base of our pizza, before adding the sauce, I'm going to be adding the mushrooms first. I felt that spreading the mushrooms on the dough would be a lot easier than trying to spread it when it's on the sauce, so mushrooms first, and then we'll put the sauce on. And when I do put the sauce on, instead of just spreading it all over the pizza, I'm just going to kind of drizzle it over. That way some bites of the pizza you get some mushroom with pancetta, some you get the hollandaise sauce, or I'm just being a fancy boy and trying to show off for the video because I just end up spreading this around anyway. Next we're going to add our mozzarella cheese that we shredded earlier. Go ahead and spread that all over the pizza. Be sure to show off some of those mushrooms, and when you thought we didn't have enough olive oil, I'm going to add a little bit more to spread around the crust. This is going to make it brown up very nicely in the oven. You'll see what I mean in just a couple of minutes. And once you're done doing that, this is actually ready for the oven. This is going to go into a 550-degree Fahrenheit oven for 10 to 12 minutes. And while we're doing that, we're going to take some fresh thyme and we're going to chop this up. Actually, we're not going to chop it up. I'm going to show you a little trick. If you take the ends of the thyme sprigs, you can actually get the leaves off by hand. See? Doesn't that look good? It's really hard to explain. It was better that I show it to you. But as you can see, this is super easy. It smells terrific, and we're going to keep it fresh. We're not going to cook it at all. Thyme has a very subtle earthy flavor, and it's not going to take over like fresh rosemary or sage. It's going to complement the other ingredients very nicely. And I'm just going to put this to the side until our pizza is ready. Speaking of which, our pizza is ready. And it browned beautifully in the oven. It smells terrific. It's bubbling up very nicely. This baked for exactly 12 minutes, but like I said in the past, not all ovens operate the same way, so do not take your eyes off this. After cooling for about 5 minutes, we're going to add our fresh thyme. If you added it right away, it's actually going to soak into the pizza and turn brown, and we do not want that. We want it to stay nice and green. And with that, our pizza is finally done. Just like last time, I did not serve this breakfast pizza for breakfast. I ended up having it for dinner. It's around 5 o'clock in the afternoon right now. But who cares? Let's eat. I've got my coffee brewing, and as you can see, the bottom of this browned absolutely beautifully. This looks so good, smells terrific. Let's take a bite. This is easily another great pizza to add to the list. That hollandaise sauce is great. It has a nice buttery, garlicky flavor. The pancetta inside the dough is probably my favorite part because it adds a nice saltiness to it. It's so crispy and so flavorful. The mushrooms, like I said before, add a great meaty umami flavor, and the mozzarella cheese complements everything. It's not too sharp. It is the perfect cheese for this. So guys, make this pizza any time of the day. It'll become a quick favorite. Alright guys, I hope you all enjoyed this one. Please remember to like and subscribe, and I'll see you all next time.